Super cool radio.
Hello, everyone. I am Matthew Thomas. This is Super Cool Radio. I got a great show lined up. My guests this time are a female-fronted hard rock band from Houston, Texas, and they recently released a brand new album entitled "For" last month. Please welcome the Metal Byrds.
Whoa! Thank you, Matthew.
Thanks so much for hanging out with me here on Super Cool Radio. Joining me from the Metal Byrds, we got Suzanne on vocals and Sly Rye on guitar. Thank you so much.
So how are you, Matthew?
I'm doing good. I woke up at noon, so I guess that's a good day, right?
Oh, that rocks.
Yeah, like I just woke up like 45 minutes ago, so yeah.
Yeah, me beat. That's awesome. All right. Well, before we dive into this interview, I know we got much to discuss, but I'm going to start off with a fun question. What music have you guys been listening to this week?
Oh my God, I've been listening to a lot of Sirius Lithium.
It's a good channel.
It's my favorite channel, so that's what I do on the way to work, on the way back home from work. That's my mainstay. Lithium.
Indie. Lots in the indies. I stream the indie stuff all the time because I like to hear all the new rock. But indie, I take my chances, but you do hear a lot of cool stuff. I've left mainstream radio once we discovered, like a year ago, all this indie stuff is like, this is cool, and they play us. That's super cool.
Yeah.
Hey.
Super cool.
Hey. Yeah. So this week, obviously, I've been listening to you guys, obviously, because I'm chatting with you guys. But it's kind of funny. Like I was listening to you guys, and then like my next artist in my list was Metallica. So I haven't listened to them in a while. So I was like, I'll just keep it going. Why not? So I've been starting to listen to Metallica again.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. And then the Black Album was released 30 years ago today, or this week or whatever. It's
Well, what do you know Metallica? What were you listening to, Matthew?
Yeah.
So it went in order. So it went Justice for All, which it needs more bass, but that's
yes.
I have up to the Black Album, so it's just all the old school Metallica stuff.
Okay.
That's kind of where after the Black Album, I kind of stopped listening for a little bit, or most of it. So,
okay.
But classic Metallica for sure.
Yeah.
Well, there
it's
you go.
Fun how you'll hear a lot of indie music or indie rock. When you put it on with Metallica and whatnot, it flows together nice. So I think there's a real opportunity for a lot of indie artists like us or any of these other rock groups where it fits in when you listen to a radio or a show and they'll put it in between like that. You can actually hear, wow, you kind of belong. I'm not trying to be arrogant, but it's very interesting how a lot of these groups and us, you hear a flow and then you're excited to hear yourself, and then they play something like that after. And there's a real flow to it. It's really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I think especially with you guys, you have that old school hard rock and even some grunge elements in there. It's almost perfect with you can line it up with so many other different artists and genres and everything. Kind of just, as you said, just flows into the next song.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the fact that we're really kind of diverse with the grunge and the hard rock, and we can go into classic rock, and then we can go into something like an acoustic set, or it's kind of cool. You can pair us up with anybody really in the rock scene. So
definitely, for sure. But so before the Metal Byrds, how did you guys get started as a musician?
My parents and my biker uncles and whatnot out here in Central Texas and up in Michigan at the Cherry Farm, you know, when I was going to high school and Rage and Live were getting all the plays as MTV was dying, right? When it came to music, they only listened to classic rock. My parents were a giant record collecting family. So like from the littlest age, it was Everly Brothers, Journey, you know, even some of the pop stuff, Olivia Newton-John. My parents were just music heads. But when the family get-togethers would go down, it was the Skinner, AC/DC, Ozzy Osbourne, all of that nonstop. And it just ingrained into me. So me and my friends in school, we went back, right? We were the kids that were like Sabbath, you know, Iron Maiden, and doing all that, right? But that's where the influence came from. Is like, I want to play guitar like them.
Oh my God. I like how you threw in Olivia Newton-John in there. Like he is in love with an.
Well, I'm not, you know, it's funny because my mom liked Xanadu, right? She likes Xanadu, and the ELO songs are like the epitome of classic pop rock, right? Those songs they're funny.
Yeah, like when
it's like, I want to write a hit.
When we're taking a break from like rehearsing, we'll break into Xanadu like for no reason.
We have tried it before, and Grease. We've tried doing Summer Nights and
oh my gosh, yeah.
You're the one that I want. That's the one that Suzanne really nailed. That was hilarious. Everybody was laughing. That was great. It was a good time.
Yeah. Thanks for
real rock there, right, Matthew? That's the real rock there.
Oh, totally. But it's kind of real quick. Like, so I listened to, I don't know if you remember Henry Rollins' radio show. It's so funny. Like, he'll play like, you know, Black Flag, Slayer, all these like hardcore, like either punk or metal songs, and he will occasionally throw in Olivia Newton-John. I kid you not.
Yeah, she's fucking awesome. Like, I mean, she was the epitome of 80s pop and like culture, and it's like you can't not have, you know, Sabbath without Olivia Newton-John. It just makes sense.
Right. Well, you know what? That's funny because the first time I heard Black Flag, you know, Police Story and those kind of tunes, they were from like the stoner old kids down the street. And, you know, my eyes were just wide open. Like, what? This is music? Right? It's crazy.
It is. Like, I've gone to a few like punk and like hardcore metal shows, and it's a very different. It's a very different experience. I just don't stand where everyone else is. I don't like getting hurt.
Oh, like the mosh pit.
Yes.
Come on.
I'm good.
I've had a couple elbows thrown at me in a mosh pit before. So I was just like, you know, you run through and then you get the fuck out, and that's it.
You're little though, Suzanne. Somebody's elbow is going to hit you in the forehead anyway, just standing up.
Oh. Yeah.
Definitely. But I can deal with the crowd surf. I've gone to plenty of shows where there's crowd surfing, and it's funny. I was at a show in Chicago, and this dude, like, he was tall. He was quite a bit taller than me, and like he's like, I hope I don't get hit in the face while crowd surfing. Sure enough, first crowd surfer that came in here gets hit right in the back of the head. And I was like,
oh. Yeah, crowd surfing is dangerous. I got dropped from, you know, like, I don't know, 6 feet up straight on my back. It was like, ow.
That must have felt good.
Yeah, no, it didn't. But you know, when you're, you know, in the moment, it's like, yeah, let's do that again. I know better now, but
yeah, don't mind all the trauma. I'm fine.
Yeah, it's just, well, you come away with a couple black bruises, and you know you had fun. So
definitely. But so get back on track a little bit. So Suzanne, so how'd you get started as a musician?
It was basically the same thing. I started like he went into like the later classic rock. I was more like the pop side. Like I loved Madonna, I loved Pat Benatar, you know, Michael Jackson. That was my thing. And then like I started discovering grunge when I was in like middle school, and it was like, oh shit, this is the, you know. And I was a grunge kid for forever. You know, I had my wide leg pants on and my shut up, my chain wallet in high school. You know, and I was that kid, right? I loved music. I love fucking rock and roll. You know, my parents were the same thing. They had records. They still have records out the ass. Like, I remember specifically my dad loved Simon and Garfunkel for some reason, so that stuck in my head. You know, the melodies and the what we do in our albums. Like I harmonize with myself, and it all comes from Simon and Garfunkel, and like stuck in my head. Yeah, so that's where it started.
So we got Olivia Newton-John and Simon and Garfunkel.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yep. You weren't expecting these answers, right?
No, I was not at all. I usually have some idea, but definitely not what I expected. But I like it. I'm here for it.
Good.
So, but also, so Suzanne, so you're originally from London.
Yes.
So what brought on the move to Houston, Texas?
Well, my parents moved to the East Coast when I was about 10, 11 years old. They moved my mom was a nurse, and so she moved for a job. She worked at Johns Hopkins for like the longest time. And then I came to Houston about 5 years ago now for my job. And I was working in Austin at first, and that's where I met Rye and his group of, I don't want to say lackeys, but yeah. I was at work one day, and we had a tough shift, and someone was like, "Hey, you want to come out for a couple beers?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." So I followed them to this, like, I thought they were going to kill me, like Chainsaw Massacre barn, like in the middle of nowhere. And I was like, oh my God, they're going to murder me. I don't know these people. I just started, right? And then all of a sudden you hear all this like fucking music, and it was Rye's barn in like the middle of no man's land. And they opened the doors, and there he was up on his like little stage playing and rocking out. And it was like, okay, this is cool. So I had a couple beers, I'm feeling good. And then somebody was like, oh, she can sing. They didn't know me from Jack, right? They didn't know I could sing. So they were like, yeah, sing something. And I was like, well, do you know Sweet Child of Mine? And Ryan was like, yeah, I know that song. Come on. So handed me the mic, and I started singing, and everybody's mouth was like, what? I was like, okay.
Yeah. And then with Rocket Queen, she could do all the Axl parts.
Rocket Queen.
That Rocket Queen's tough, and the OOOs and Sweet Child of Mine at the end, she nailed it. Everybody was floored. It was like, wow, I guess you can sing. Do you want to be in a band?
Yeah, that's exactly what he asked me. Hey, do you want to be in a band? I was like, okay. And then we started talking and became friends, and then I did really join the band, and that was it.
Well, I'm glad Rye didn't turn out to be a mass murderer. That's always
seriously, where he lives, it's like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I was like, oh.
It's all mesquite trees and cactus out at the ranch. There's not a whole bunch of, well, rattlesnakes and scorpions. We have plenty of them, so.
That you do. Glad I don't live out there, but yeah. But his place is cool. Super fucking cool now that I know. But before it was like in the middle of the night too. Yeah, no, it's not fun. But
not fun.
No.
Your ranch is not fun apparently at night.
No, not at night. No.
Well, especially if it's hot, you don't want to step on a snake.
It's true. See, I'm in Indiana. I don't have to worry about snakes or scorpions. I just have to worry about 18 feet of snow.
Right.
You see, I'll take the snow because it kills all those critters, right? I'm from Maryland originally. Well, I'm a Maryland girl, so.
As a kid, that's not the same. Indiana's Midwest. That rocks.
That's right, Midwest, baby. all we have is our greatest export is corn or snow.
We could use some snow down in Texas, though. It's seriously hot.
It's only like 91 right now.
No, it's only 91. Yeah. Yesterday, Houston was 93. I was sweating my ass off. So thanks.
No triple digits today? That's kind of disappointing.
That's what I was thinking. But when you when you go to work and you're all wearing gear and then it rains after it's been that hot, you're thinking, man, I wish I could be a rock star.
Yeah.
I think that's everybody's thought exactly, yes.
Yeah.
All right, so you kind of touched on how you guys met and how the band came together. So how'd you come up with the name the Metal Birds?
Well, so I work around airplanes, and that's what we call like the airplanes, Metal Birds.
Yeah.
It's like the nickname for it, like the big flying metal birds in the sky. So like one day when we were like brainstorming, I just like threw that out there and they were like, that's fucking cool. Like it's like double entendre kind of thing. And I was like, all right, well then let's go with that. Like at first we were Metal Birds and then we became the Metal Birds because like the beat.
Suzanne's also a pilot. Don't let her be so modest. She's got skills.
Yeah, I got skills out there. Wazoo. Yeah. Well, I have my private pilot's license, I'm working on the other stuff. But yeah, like I love flying, I love planes, I love all of that stuff. So
Metal Birds.
Metal Birds. So it's not what you think. It's and then my name is Birdie. So it was just like natural. It was like, oh, okay, cool. So that's where we came up with it.
Definitely, it all fit in. Totally makes all sense. Hey, I'm with it. But coming up to recent news. So last month, you guys released a brand new album titled 4 in September. So how was it writing and recording the new album?
It was tough.
We finally did it at Suzanne's house. She put a studio in her house. And it was interesting learning how to be studio people. It's completely different and it's tough.
Yeah.
What do you mean by studio people?
So our first 3 albums, we had, we recorded them in a normal studio, and we were having issues, and so I was like, you know what, I could probably do this myself. Like, let me try. So I was like, I started buying all the equipment, all the gear, and I had an extra room in my house. So I set up a studio basically. And I was like, let's try to record. It'll give us more opportunity to develop our songs rather than just go in a studio, because we're like on time, and you have to pay money, right? So you're rushing through the songs. So I said, if I set up my own studio, we can like actually have time to develop. So I set it up, and that's how we recorded 4. And to me, it came out great. I don't know what I'm doing really. I'm no professional, sound engineer, but I did the best we could. We got some help from some great people that we know.
Our friend Ray helped us, and he's been in the business a long time recording. And he said, well, you could do this instead. And so it was nice to also have some feedback.
Yeah.
And he said, you guys are a rock band. Have you thought of this? And so it was nice. He did play on one of the songs, Little Lies, but he has a better idea of, because he's been doing rock music for so long, where he thought, so it was fun arguing with someone new.
Yeah, and he helped us out incredibly. He also mixed our stuff, and it came out to me, or to us, really better than our previous stuff when we were in a real studio. So I think that's the way to go from now on, is like, and I learned so much how to manage these boys, right? Tell them, oh, you got to play it again, like before I didn't care. You got to play it again. No, that wasn't good enough. And, arguing with them is my forte. So especially Rye, when I'm like, no, that's not good. No, you didn't do it right. You didn't hit that note right. And then on the other side, when I was recording and he's sitting there like, nope, sing it again. No, sing it again. No, sing it. And I know that was payback for what I did to you. I remember
everybody, if there's people around, that turns into 2 camps that become very quiet as Suzanne and Rye go head to head, and nobody wants to get involved.
It's always like battle royale when we're recording, and but it turns out great. And like when you start listening to what you record, and it's like, holy crap, that sounds fantastic. Like, yeah, okay, we did it right. We
wanted a classic rock sound, and he said, yeah, you guys, these tunes, we will make classic rock sounding. So that's what we were really kind of going for as well.
I think we pulled off what we wanted to accomplish at the beginning of it. So yeah, I mean, it came out fantastic for what we could do. I'm sure there's people that can make it sound twice as better as but it's what it is, right? It's fucking great, and we love every song on the album. Oh my gosh. I don't know if you guys can hear me, but something just happened and you guys, I cannot hear anything you're saying.
You can't hear anything, really.
Can you hear us?
All I hear is rap, 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 rap. Yeah, I don't know what happened. Maybe I'm like, I'm
Hold on.
I'm sorry.
Let me change my mic real quick.
He is changing
Oh,
the
there it
mic.
is. Now I
Okay.
can hear you.
Oh, you
That was
can?
weird. Yeah,
Okay.
that was really weird. All I heard was like,
Super Cool Radio has one of the best tech people in the business, and that's why we love being here today.
yeah.
Look how fast that fixed, Suzanne. Look how fast.
Yeah, see? I'm on top of it. Me and my producer, who is also me, we're on top of it.
You're like us. We're our own producers. Yeah.
I mean, you kind of have to be, especially, I mean, with a podcast just starting out. I mean, I just do everything myself. I mean, that is what it is. But
That's so cool.
you got to see me when I'm like I do interviews at shows sometimes too, and everyone's like, okay, so who's all with you? I'm like, just me. It's just you. Yeah, it's just, hi, Super Cool Radio, right here.
That's it. That's all you need is you, yourself, and you.
Exactly.
Ah.
I mean, with my multiple personalities, it could be like 5 people, but right now it's just me.
Right.
There you go.
So, all right. Did you hear what I said about the album? Did you hear that? Okay.
No, I did not hear that at all. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I could say it again. At least I remember what I said. Hopefully, the album has the like classic rock sound, as you guys have said, but also like it's got a little bit of that raw and grittiness into it as well. It makes it, it doesn't have to be super polished, and that's what I kind of like about it. Is it kind of matches that classic rock feel where you had to be really good in the studio back then because you didn't have all the fancy technology to make you sound better.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's pure rock that way, right? I mean, they didn't have, all the drum machines and the digital whatever they use nowadays, to make you sound completely perfect. You had to, or if, every little flaw was something that was completely cool in an album, right? If he missed a note or, the bass missed that note and it was like, oh, that's fucking great, because that they were really playing. And that's what we kind of capture. We didn't want to, we want to play everything perfectly, but it's human nature not to, and it just came out fucking amazing, to be quite honest.
And then it sounds right. If we get a chance to play out to do a bunch of songs from 4, it's going to sound right because there's nothing fancy in it, right? You just guitar, bass, drums, and shoes, and that's it.
Yeah, that's all it is. It's music and it's like basic, right? You get usually like 2 Ryans, 2 Ryans, like 1 guitar, 1 bass, 1 drums, like how many mics we have on the drums, and then like maybe 2 of me, like as a backup, and that's it. I don't know who's gonna sing backups. I guess Rye will.
We've all tried singing before, but they're nice and
have the
varied.
best voice, so
You didn't sound confident with that pick though. Like I guess Ryan will.
yeah. I mean, it's like the best of a bad situation.
Wow. Okay. This is why I came on Super Cool today. Really.
He nails Olivia Newton-John's Xanadu every time we play it. He'll like, push me off the mic and just go straight for it. And it's like,
I wish I had a clip. I wish I had a clip of you doing Summer Nights. And then everybody would see the real Suzanne.
It's not funny.
It's pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
It gets laughs, right? When people want to see jam and they don't expect it, right? Because we've done we've done Kiss and then gone right into the dun, 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 and it's just funny, right? You don't expect it.
Always go with unexpected too. Like like you go from like one element to like a completely different one. I always like that. To always be caught off guard, especially like at a live show. I think that's kind of the point. That's why I don't want a set list at shows. I don't want to know what the set list is.
Do you remember when we used to do Iron Maiden Run to the Hills and then go right into Captain and Tennille? It was.
Oh yeah, we did try. We tried
That's
merging
okay.
"Love Will Keep Us Together" and "Run to the
Yeah.
Hills," and it's pretty good. We should bring that back. We haven't rehearsed that in a long time.
Yeah, because it's unexpected and it get like you see the audience and it gets so many like people going like, no way, and they're like start laughing, you know, and it's a good time because people remember stuff like that when you do it.
And
I
that
mean,
bass line to "Love Will Keep Us Together" is solid, right? That's just a cool bass line.
when he first told me I had to sing that song, and I was like, "Are you out of your mind?" Like,
That
what?
was Kevin, not me. It was his idea to put more
Oh, it was
extreme
his
pop.
idea through your
Yeah.
mouth, and I was like, "You guys are nuts," and it worked, and it was like, "Wow, okay." Run to the hills, love, love will keep. No, I was like, all right, but it worked, and it was fucking great, actually.
See, I like how Rye blamed the guy who's not even in this interview. Yeah, it was that guy. He did it.
Yeah. Well, Kevin and I went to school together, so him and I played a long time together. He wants as simple as possible. He said, he likes all that 80s straight bass, so that way he can worry about partying. That's his world. He wants to be, he's just real chill that way.
Yeah, he is.
I just need a song with 3 notes in it, and then I'm good.
Basically, you nailed Kevin right on the head. Yeah.
I don't even know the guy, and I already know what he would say.
That's him. Yeah. What? 2 notes? Oh, can I do 3? 4? No, it's too much. Okay.
Is there any more beer?
Wait, do we get a 4th member in this interview? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's off to the side, like by Rye. Yeah.
That's awesome. So, I gotta ask. So, you guys obviously based out of Houston, Texas. So, like, what's kind of like the music scene down in Houston?
There was a lot of, from North Texas all the way to Houston. This is a good way to describe. There's a lot of places for a rock band to play. There is a ton. It's not just blues or country. There is a lot of places. You can set up an appointment, right? They already have a sound guy. Austin's pretty good. Cedar Creek, Red Rock, Houston.
Yeah.
They're really good. If you just want to show up and, work your mojo to see if you can get a gig. It's a good rock scene.
Houston.
People like rock. What all these, with the rappers and the EMD people forget, which is popular, right? There's still just as many places to rock, and people will be there appreciating it.
Yeah. Yeah, there's tons of places in Houston. We like to play out in Austin better. It's a little bit more of a rock scene out there because, Houston is known for its, rappers and I don't know. I don't even know half of them, but I don't listen to rap. But
Right, don't listen to it.
Yeah, but anywhere in Texas, it's all country. It's all rock. It's made for guitars.
Yeah, that's the way to say it. It's very guitar oriented.
Guitar oriented. So it doesn't matter if you're playing country or you're playing like the blues or you're playing rock or metal. It doesn't matter. Anywhere here, people will come to see you because they love music here. It's wonderful for that. It's wonderful.
Yeah, that's really awesome. I know kind of where I'm at. There's not like a couple of venues had to close down, obviously from obviously last year.
Yeah.
There isn't much. I know the Midwest is like more like very cover and tribute band heavy. So they obviously get a lot more shows than actual original music, which I'm kind of disappointed in, but it's kind of the Midwest.
Yeah. But
going up to Michigan in the summer, by the way, you're invited next year because we've got out at the Cherry Farm. It touches Lake Michigan, and we always invite people, so you're invited. It's fantastic. We party up there for 20 days in a row and cook out and rock out. But we noticed that the stations up north, it goes rock, and then you hit the other ones. Down here, it's rock, country,
rap,
new, right? Especially in bigger markets. But it seems like the Midwest, driving anywhere in the great state of Michigan or the Midwest, it's Bob Seger, AC/DC, the 2 songs from Hendrix and not his catalog, the 1 song from the Beatles and not their catalog. But at least they're playing Priest and Metallica and Ozzy and the radio.
And Bob Seger again. And
yeah, and then Bob Seger again. Yeah.
And Metallica covering Bob Seger.
Yeah. Oh, always. Why do they play that back to back? And then they play that live one of Kid Rock with Metallica at Bob Seger. And it's like, come on. I already heard the song twice now.
No, we got to get the Kid Rock quota in for the day. Come on now.
yeah.
Yeah, you nailed the radio stations though. I think we have like one country station,
Right?
and like the rest of we have like new rock, kind of. I don't know.
Yeah.
The rock stations going more into like electronic something, whatever the new rock is nowadays.
Yeah.
New rock, whatever that is. And then there's like and then there's like classic rock and like 4 talk radio stations. Like that's pretty much, and like an 80s channel, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that. Yeah, that everyone's a Jim FM or a Dave FM or a Bob FM or a, but they do all that 80s stuff. Those are fun listening to those 80s ones because, you know, as a little kid again, having the cars cranked at a big party, you're just like, wow, everyone's getting wasted. But you realize they're all nodding their head and tapping their foot to it.
Yeah.
Like, this is clever, right? Even a little kid can see the potential in a melody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. But yeah, I like how you just nailed the radio stations in the Midwest. It's like, yeah, you're spot on with like just how that is. That's why I got tired of listening to the radio and I started my own because I'm like, I'm tired of listening to the same stuff. Sorry, Kid Rock, Metallica, Bob Seger, all in one. I'm sorry.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, if we had known about indie music world earlier, because Suzanne's the one that introduced that idea to us, we had no idea. She was like, you know, this can get played on indie radio, you know, and she was talking to her friends that are musicians down there in Houston. And before you know it, we were like, how? What is it? And it's undiscovered. But then when you learn about it, there's regular people that are not musicians that are like, oh, I've been listening to this indie station and this indie station for the last 5 years. And mind-blowing that there is such a worldwide market for it.
Yeah.
It's
it was
way
a big
bigger than I would have guessed.
It definitely is, and I think that's just the power of the internet. Like, you know, anyone, like I play stuff from all around the world. It's so cool just how you're able to connect with different, you know, artists, bands, and people. Just not only in the U.S. but also everywhere too.
Yeah, around the world. It's wonderful because people around the world are making stuff that you wouldn't even think to like you wouldn't even think that you would like, but you do, and it's like, holy crap, that's a great song, and it's from somebody in like Azerbaijan, you know, or and you're like, where? But this song fucking kicks ass, and it's like, yeah, you know. And when we get people who listen to what who contact, you know, our website, and it's like, oh, I love your stuff, I'm in Siberia. I was like, what? That doesn't make any sense to us, but it's cool. Like someone's listening to us in Siberia, or like.
And then they remind you, rock isn't dead here, and you're just thinking, I didn't know rock lived there. Right?
Yeah, you know, the music scene in America, like they've killed, you know, all but killed rock, and you're like, oh, everything is pop and rap and hip hop or whatever it is, and then you start like going outside the American bubble, and you realize, holy shit, rock's not dead. Like people love this shit all over the world, and it's like
and bars and grocery stores right in America, it's still going because people like it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. It's very interesting, like what the rest of the world's doing compared to, like, you know, obviously where we live in the U.S. Where, as you kind of said, the rock nowadays is I don't really consider, if it doesn't have guitars, it's not rock. That's the way I look at it.
Thank you. 100% to that.
100, yeah.
So I
5 dudes with a keyboard panned as a metal act is nothing but "Don't Forget Me Till You Go Go." It's 80s where they just made it dark and heavy, and it's a George Michael tune. Only now they're singing that, and it's 5 freaking keyboards and a drummer. That ain't rock.
Yeah. It's not rock.
No, and my favorite was, like, I think Miley Cyrus, like, she got nominated for Rock Album of the Year, I think this year or last year. And I was like, I think one song had a guitar on it, and I was like, it's not a rock album. I'm sorry.
No, it's totally not. Oh, I
I
can go
remember that. I
like,
actually, when I would see some of them getting played on indie stations, I did tune in and I was horrified that was rock.
new
Yeah.
rock.
Right.
It's new
Yeah.
rock.
Anything with new in front of it is not good.
Like new metal.
I won't hate on that completely, but Limp Bizkit's still around, so
Yeah.
You see, okay, all right. I will admit I have a Limp Bizkit record from when I was like
With
in high school.
Nookie and all of them rock.
Right.
That hilarious.
Rock.
They rap too much. Wait. They rap too much, but break stuff and all of that. That is some rocking stuff. When
Yeah, but that was what 20 something years ago. Come on, like it can't.
wow.
It has to evolve. Rock has always evolved, and then all of a sudden it stopped, and it's like, come on, where's the evolution of it all? They're still playing Evanescence from 19 something. Once it has a 19 in front of it, it should have like stopped, and it should have evolved, and it hasn't, and it's okay.
or you have like the artists nowadays who are like, oh, I'm gonna sound like that band because that band's famous, so I'm gonna sound like them because that'll make me famous. So you like give like either like it all just sounds the same because they're all copying each other, or they're not even using guitars. So it's like, I'm not liking this.
Yeah, we've run across like there's great indie bands and there's bad indie bands. Everything has good and bad to it. We've run across, I'm not going to name names, but like people who, like you think about it, they're like 20-year-olds, right? And all they've known is what they've heard on the radio for the last 20 years. That sounds exactly the same. So they want to emulate it, and it's bad. It's bad music. Like I don't know.
No, you gotta see like it's like if you want to take like a little bit nuances, a little bit of elements from like
Right.
but you gotta make it your own.
Yeah,
like,
you can't just be like a karaoke of whatever. Like I don't know. It just drives me nuts because that's all I've heard for the last 20 years, and it's just grinds me. So that's why we try to make our music a little bit more deliberately various, right? We vary we're a little bit diverse because you don't want to always sound the same. You don't want to have a one-hit wonder and then you buy the album and every single song sounds exactly the same, and it's like, this sucks. Come on.
That's what was good about them 70s and 80s. Suzanne's turned me on to a lot of Fleetwood Mac, right? That's her digging in the past. And those guys they're very pop and shiny, whatever, but they understand melody, and you can see why they still get played.
Yeah.
Because they take a real different approach to pop stuff. But again, they're each working with an instrument and a singer. So it's like, that's the right idea. All we have is us. Yeah. And if people, we come first, haha, this one's really funny to play. And then we rock them out. But then you realize, this is all we know. So we come first. And if anyone else likes it, that is so much better. When we get compliments outside our circle, that's even more amazing because all we're really doing is paying homage to what's been drilled into the head, right?
Yeah. When I first mentioned Fleetwood Mac to these guys, and they were like, Fleetwood Mac, And it's like, okay, the one thing I love about Fleetwood Mac, even though, all of them sing, right? You got Lindsay and you got Steve. Right. They all sing. All of their songs sound so different from each other, but as a collective, they are all still sound like Fleetwood Mac, right? Even when Lindsay's singing, even when Stevie's singing, even when Christina's singing, they all sound like a Fleetwood Mac song. And that's what we want to, I was like, we need to try to do this.
Journey and Kiss and all of those kind of bands that were 70s into 80s did that same thing, right? The Cars. There's another one that knew collectively it was that, but it's all about melody. So that's why we always try to if we could just get something rocking, right? So.
Yeah, definitely. Fleetwood Mac, another band I was not expecting to come up in this interview.
We've got a new one. Listen, we've got a couple of songs we have tried to get on the last couple records that Suzanne's constantly pushing. And they're very in between Fleetwood Mac and Journey. We just haven't had the time. And we've played them on and off for a year and a half or gone back to them. And we just haven't had the time to do a proper fix, because then it turns into Spitfire, Pete. Right? Once it gets going, then it turns into a rock tune.
Yeah, I know.
But there's the next record, when we put out new music, hopefully they'll be on there, because they're more in that classic rocks.
Yeah, real classic rock. Yeah, we're developing some songs right now we're looking to the future for our next album, and it should be really interesting what we come up with in the next couple months. Yeah, we already have, like, last night while he was at work, I don't know where you have the guitar. He has a guitar at his job somewhere. I don't know where, but he called me at, what was it, like 3 a.m. or something like that?
Yeah.
That's why I just woke up not too long ago. But he called me at like 3 a.m. He was like, listen to this. And he started playing this ultra cool, like, riff. And I was like, oh my God, boom, my mind is blown. Like, that's a song right there. So, you know, once we develop these songs, they should be a little bit more diverse than even 4 is. So,
but still within that same context of a bass, a guitar, and drums.
Yeah, but when you turn on the songs, you still know that it's the Metal Byrds. You know that it's us.
Yeah, I think it's cool to, like, you know, obviously to expand your boundaries, but also still, you know, obviously keep that. It's like, oh, we know who this is just by, you know, listening to it. But I look forward to all the cool stuff you got. So anytime Rye's on a break, you know, he's probably playing guitar. I figured out.
Yeah.
We do have a jam room at work. There's several guitars. There's basses in there, a couple of amps, even a Marshall.
Really?
It's the only de-stress thing you have. You know, when you work rescue, man, you need to de-stress. I think there's more stress running social media than there is showing up to an act.
Yes. I do all the social media for me too, and it's like I either got like random people messaging me, or like this person's commenting on this, or this thing didn't upload because it's the Facebook's down because it's Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because we all want to be heard. You know, you work just as hard as we do. The indie people, that's our collective. The radio, the podcast, the bands, the artists. We're all like, we all want to get something, right? And we all like the props, but we all know the ones that don't admit that the outside the band indie people, my God, like you said, you're your producer. Yeah. We're all collectively just constantly working.
Yeah, I know. We have a product, and you got to sell that product, and you got to work for it, because no one else is going to do it for you. So we appreciate all your hard work, dude. Like, seriously, like, you're on.
That's why it's super cool radio.
Super cool.
That's right. Well, hey, I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me here. A very fun interview. A lot of things I wasn't expecting to cover or even come up. Like, someone starts off with, "Yeah, Olivia Newton-John." And I already knew it was going to be fun. Before I let you guys go, so just a couple quick things. So if anyone has not listened to the new album 4, what can they expect from it?
Kick-ass music.
Rock Ain't Dead.
I like it.
Rock Ain't Dead. Yeah.
If they go to Bandcamp, because that's a good site, if they don't have a Spotify or an Apple account, Bandcamp, the metalbirds.bandcamp.com, they can check out 4 and see where we're going with that classic rock idea. That's a good way to listen for free, and if they want to buy it, even better, right? Because it's all about promoting indie, I guess.
Yeah, because like you know, we do it all ourselves. You know, we got to pay for everything. So, you know, come out and support indie radio and indie bands. You know, support us. We need the ching ching.
Everyone needs the support for sure. I'm going to leave some links to the Metal Byrds in the description of this podcast as well. Definitely check them out. So as we close out 2021, it's already October. We got like 2-ish months left. What are your plans for the rest of this year and the future plans for next year, 2022?
Well, the plans for this year is to keep pushing our stuff, keep pushing singles off of 4. We have a brand new single out that we just released right after the album came out called Little Lies. It's it's a rock song, but it also like all our songs have messages behind it. So my dad died last year and I wrote a song for him, and it's about remembering the good times, especially when I was a little kid. So remembering the stories he told me. So, we're going to be pushing more singles off of our album. And like I said, we're working on already our stuff for our next album. So I don't know when. We haven't even finished one song yet. We're working on it. So we should have like another full-length album sometime, I'm guessing next year. Right? Hopefully.
Yeah,
If
yes.
we can keep
Yes.
on.
Because I would like to still do that song called Matthew's Indiana. It's just a working title right now.
Matthews, Indiana. It's all about the rock stations there. Yeah.
That's right. All two of them. And I would know which two. I've applied to them many times, and they say, we don't want you." So I go, "Fine, I'll start my own."
Make your own station. Fuck them.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. That's how everything starts. Hey, I don't like you, so I'll just do it myself.
Exactly.
Right.
Stream support. Give a like to the Metal Byrds. As I said, there'll be links in the description of this podcast. Try and do this with a straight face because having a good time here. So definitely check them out. Give them a listen. 4 is out right now. I'll leave links to the Bandcamp as well. Give it a listen. I know you'll enjoy it. I've played Life the Party and Absolute on my show before. I really dig them. So everyone else should too.
Awesome.
Matthew, you rock. Super Cool Radio is exactly that.
Yes,
so
you rock. You are super cool.
we'd like to come back again because it's fun. It's always fun talking to people from somewhere else that want to talk music.
Mm-hmm.
Too many, we see a lot in social media where they only want to just repost each other's stuff, and I think a lot of the dialogue's missing. So these opportunities are so cool because you get so many different ideas. You realize we'll get ideas from you today. It always happens, always, because you get this dialogue going,
Yeah, we take inspiration from anywhere we can, to be quite honest,
Yeah.
It is awesome just having a conversation with somebody, especially about music, not really about anything else, but just like music and life itself. It's just always fun, and it's always I always like doing these interviews.
Yeah, well, music is the common denominator, right? Everybody loves music. Unless you're deaf and you've never heard it before, but everybody loves some sort of music. So it's nice to have that in common with, the whole world. It's great.
Yeah, and for sure. And what I like about my podcast, there's so many podcasts out there right now that just talk about politics and serious stuff. It's that's cool if that's what you want to listen to, fine. But I want to have fun and talk music with people. That's what I want to do.
Yeah, because it's fun. Music is fun. Creating it is fun. We have so much fun. We fight, but we have fun. It's fun, and it should be fun. That's what makes it.
You have to make sure you send us the links and everything so we can get that out on our social media.
I will.
You need to be heard. You defend new music. That's what this is about.
For Suzanne and Sly Rye of Metal Byrds, I am Matthew Thomas, the host of Super Cool Radio. Thank you so much for watching and listening.
Woo!